Following peaceful pro-democracy protests in Hong Kong over the weekend, China has been sending strong warnings against the movement. But it seems the people in Hong Kong are not planning to back down anytime soon. Our Oh Soo-young explains.
Sunday's rally in Hong Kong may have started and ended as a peaceful march, but demonstrators in their 11th week of protests that started over a controversial extradition bill remain as angry and determined as ever.
I think the general public have been really angered by the lack of real commitment on the part of the Hong Kong government and the Beijing government to withdraw completely the draconian bill, which would endanger the rule of law and freedoms in Hong Kong. And they were equally angered by the widely perceived police and mafia collusion in Hong Kong. And not to mention that they were really afraid that Hong Kong would transform from what we call a hybrid regime to an entirely authoritarian regime.
According to organisers, around 1.7 million people participated in the demonstration on Sunday. But police tallied the number far lower at 128,000 people who initially entered Victoria Park. The protests began back in June over the controversial extradition bill that was reported as being dead by the city's chief executive Carrie Lam. But now the demonstrations have evolved to focus on 5 demands based on greater democratic freedoms, including the formal withdrawal of the extradition bill and an independent inquiry into alleged police brutality. Although concerns were mounting that Beijing may use military force to crack down on the movement, Chinese troops which were seen conducting exercises near Hong Kong did not intervene in Sunday's protest. Professor Singh says such intervention is unlikely to take place.
I think China is well aware of the fact that the whole world is watching, including the United States. Donald Trump said within the last 4 hours that should the Chinese government use army to crack down bloodily in Hong Kong, then there would be no trade deal between the United States and China. There's also another very powerful fact that Hong Kong remains the top spot in internationalizing renminbi. Okay, it accounts for internationalizing more than 70% of renminbi around the world. And Hong Kong also remains the top spot in helping to find the capital for Chinese companies. The Chinese companies have raised more capital from Hong Kong alone in the last 7 years than in mainland China, okay, all added up all together.
The expert says it will be a lose-lose game if the Chinese government decides to brutally or excessively crack down on the Hong Kong protesters. The protest organiser, the Civil Front for Human Rights, has requested permission to hold another protest on August 31st. Oh Soo-young, Arirang News.